Hey everyone, Al Fragnoli, excited to be back with you all today to wrap up our three-part series on leadership and what it takes to be successful for first-time managers. Joined again by Trevor Maloney. Trevor is a leadership expert, mindset guru. You name it, Trevor knows anything about it. So Trevor, thanks for coming on again to wrap up this series with us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Al. It's been awesome.
Yeah, excited. So in the first two, we talked a little bit about why leadership's important for first-time leaders. We touched on really a couple key things. You know, a lot of times those bosses, those leaders are put in a position and they're successful at their current role, sales, IT, whatever it is, marketing, and they don't have the skill set necessary to necessarily know how to lead a team. So really important for them to focus on leadership. And then last week, in our second part of this three-part series, we touched on the traits and characteristics that leaders must possess in order to be successful with their teams. We talked about empathy, communication were a couple of the items that we touched on as far as skills to be successful. So again, we're wrapping it up today. We're going to be talking about the 5 signs to know if you're ready to have a leadership coach. So we're going to go over these 5 signs. If any of them resonate with you, please feel free to reach out to me, connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Love to have a coaching session with you. So we're going to go over those right now. Trevor, we're going to touch on a couple. The first one I have is being stuck. So if you feel like you're in a rut, stuck, and you don't know how to get out of it, if you're feeling burnt out is another one we're going to touch on. If you recently landed a promotion, that's a time to really look to invest in a leadership coach. Or if you're looking to land your next big promotion, or if you've ultimately hit a plateau, right? If you hit a plateau and you're struggling to find ways to inspire and motivate your team to achieve success, that's probably another indicator that you might be ready to have a leadership coach. So we got a couple points we're going to talk about. Trevor, why don't you just touch on some of these and kind of what they mean to you and what your thoughts are on them?
Yeah, one of the things that we find that happens a lot is people get stuck in their career, right? Maybe they've been with an organization for a long time. Maybe you've had a couple promotions throughout your tenure inside of your organization, and all of a sudden you're at this place where you're stuck, and you don't know if you're performing at the level that you once did. You don't know if you're still inspiring your teams. You don't know if even your current organization is the right one to fit, your current mindset and the current goals that you're looking to achieve. And all of those things, they're happening fast because you're going to work every day. You're in the whirlwind, as I call it, of the day-to-day life. And you forget that, wow, like you've been in the same position. You've been stuck. You've been, kind of burnt out for a long time, and you're ready to take that next leap. You're ready to, grow in whatever capacity that looks like, whether it's getting another promotion, whether it's, maybe seeing if you can perform a little bit better with your team and figure out how to inspire people. Maybe your style has become a little bit dull. I think if you're in that spot, it's so important to get a coach to, bring to light some of your greatest leadership strengths that you've used to get to where you are today. But most importantly, also uncover some of the areas that you need to grow, right? And some of the areas that maybe you've been avoiding. Because listen, if you're talented, you can avoid some of those deficiencies in your communication and leadership, and you can land that promotion. You can rise in the rankings of the hierarchical system of corporate America. But once you get to a certain place when you feel stuck, it's time, and you can't avoid it anymore. You have to bring these things to surface. You have to develop them, and you have to continue to leverage your strengths and weaknesses. That's the power of what a leadership coach can bring to you, especially, again, if you're feeling stuck, burnt out, really not sure what's next in your life and in your career. That's a great time to start thinking about it.
Trevor, you mentioned a couple things about being stuck. You mentioned something about things happening fast. That really resonated with me because we've all got incredibly busy lifestyles. Here in 2022, there's so many things coming at us nonstop. A lot are put on people's plates. And when things happen fast, a lot of times we might feel stuck. And then that leads to that burnout factor, right? So if we're stuck in a position, and we haven't seen advancement in a few years, and our goal is to advance, then absolutely investing in a leadership coach might be the perfect thing for an individual, right? So companies are looking for that stuff all the time. They want to see that people are invested in themselves. They want to get better. You mentioned growth, right? People need to grow. And when you're feeling stuck, and you're feeling that burnout, sometimes that leadership coach will help guide you and get you ready to take that next leap of faith and land that next promotion. Let's talk about a couple more things here on what makes sense for hiring a leadership coach. So we talked about looking to land that next promotion, or maybe you did just land that promotion. I know we touched about this a little bit in our first segment. Why don't we kind of recap the importance of, if you recently landed a promotion, why getting a leadership coach would be important, or again, if you're looking to land an upcoming promotion?
Yeah, well, either way, right? Whether you're looking to land a promotion or you've just gotten a promotion and you're kind of sitting there saying, oh crap, now I'm in a leadership role, now I'm in a management role, what do I do? Here's what I'll say. The fastest way to mastery in any pursuit is through coaching and mentoring. So if you want to hit your goals, if you want to inspire the people around you, if you want to land that promotion, you have to learn the skills and behaviors of an elite leader, of what we would call an intelligent leader, right? And those are so critical in that pursuit because, again, you're talented, right? You've done a great job. You have a big dream, right? You want to get that promotion, or if you've already got the promotion, you've done good thus far. But again, now your goals change. Now your standards change. Now your KPIs have changed. Now everything about your role is no longer about your individual success. As we mentioned in previous series, it is now about how well you can equip those around you with the ability to drive operating success. Again, the fastest way to mastery in any subject is through coaching and mentoring. And so if you want to be a great leader, you have to be mentored and coached by a leadership coach, somebody that can guide you through the steps in uncovering, like I mentioned before, your strengths and weaknesses, and ultimately how to deploy those, how to put together a plan that you can actually execute on and deploy those strengths, close the gaps on your weaknesses, and become the leader that you're meant to be. That's what I would say, Al.
Yeah, I love so much of what you mentioned there, Trevor. So, again, we did touch about it a little bit in the first segment. But, critically important when you have that promotion that you just landed, you're so used to inspiring yourself, right? And motivating yourself on what you need to do to hit your goals, that now it's a little bit different. You got to inspire a group of people. And that's critically important because it's changed, right? Your goals have changed, as you mentioned, to really have a leadership coach or a mentor, as you mentioned, that'll help guide you through that transition as you go from one role to the next. And then obviously looking to land a promotion as well, critically important to show your organization that you're focused on yourself, your growth, the growth of the organization, and that you're taking the necessary steps to learn as much as possible. And we'll touch on the fifth point and final point here, but if you hit a plateau, Trevor, if you just feel like you hit that plateau, you're struggling to find ways to motivate, to inspire your team, which is critically important to a leader's success, it's probably an indicator that it's time to look for a leadership coach, correct?
Yeah, well, 100%. I'll use a athletic example, right? In the gym, your first time going back to the gym, you're going to be really sore, right? It's new movements, it's new things that you're doing. Over time, you start to grow, you start to get stronger, you start to be more effective in the gym. And then all of a sudden, you get to a certain place where you're hitting numbers that you never thought that you were going to hit. And you keep raising your standards, right? Your goals change. You keep moving the goalpost a little bit, but eventually you hit a plateau. You're like, I'm not getting any stronger. What's going on? That's the same thing that happens within our careers. That's the same thing that happens within our teams. We get our teams to a certain performance. We get ourselves to a certain performance level. And then we hit a plateau. We reach a point of diminishing returns where everything we're doing isn't getting us any better, right? We're just kind of stagnant. And that might be one of the most important times when you should get a coach. Because if you're feeling, and it goes hand in hand with that feeling stuck and burnt out, because if you hit a plateau for too long, you're going to get that burnout. You're going to get that feeling of, being stuck and unsure of what your next move is. But if you can time it out right and you start to hit that plateau, you understand that, the things you're doing aren't taking you to the next level. Maybe you're just performing, right? Your performance doesn't necessarily have to decrease, but you know that there's more. You know that there's more to your abilities, to your performance. You're just not sure how to get there. That's where a coach creates real-time breakthroughs that allows you to think differently, that allows you to look at things differently, that allows you to try different strategies that can inspire those around you in a different way, that can switch things up and create that breakthrough you need to overcome that plateau. Again, just like in the gym, once you hit that certain point where you're at a plateau, you're at a point of diminishing returns, you have to switch up your routine. You have to switch up the load on the workout. You have to switch up how you're doing the movements. It's the same thing with our mindset. It's the same thing with our leadership development and how we're inspiring our teams and driving performance. So.
No, I love it, Trevor. You mentioned the mindset. So you're the mindset guru, and we heard you talking about mindset a little bit there. And it is so critically important that if you are feeling like you hit a plateau, you don't want to become complacent because that could lead to issues, right? So it's all about that mindset. When you hit that plateau, know what's going on, and really look to seek others' help to really find ways to inspire your team and motivate them to achieve success. But that wraps it up for our 3-part mini series. Trevor, we're thankful and grateful that you came on and shared some of your experiences. Really excited to have you on each of the last 3 Mondays here. Again, if any of these 5 signs resonate with you, if you feel stuck, if you're feeling burnt out, if you recently landed a job promotion, you're looking to land that next job promotion, or you feel like you've hit that plateau and you're struggling to find ways to inspire your team, please feel free to reach out to me, comment. We'll share this on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Feel free to connect with me on any of those social media platforms. Take a look at my website as well for more information, alfragnoli.intelligentleadershipec.com. Thanks again. I hope we found ways to inspire you and your team to achieve success. Trevor, thank you again for your help and guidance each of the last 3 weeks here.
Thank you so much, Al. It was a pleasure.